Let's do it. Alrighty, here we go. My name is Marty Fox from WHITEFOX. Now, here's the deal. So today we have the original Australian style disruptor.
Ooh.
From an unforgettable red carpet moment to 2 decades at the top across television, fashion, design, business, and now podcasting. Bec Judd, you've built brands, you've raised a family of 4, and you've created homes that the internet can't stop talking about. Always unapologetically yourself, whether you're setting trends or speaking truths, people listen. Bec Judd, welcome to With the Fox podcast.
Thank you. I like that intro. Thanks.
Yeah, it's actually the first intro I've actually really researched, because when you look at Bec Judd, you are across so many different areas. You're so interesting as an operator. You give so many people ideas in so many different regions of life. And I just think that there's not many people that can execute the way that you execute. And I think that's one of the biggest things. I'm super excited to have a chat.
Thank you.
So how, and this is the question I think you get all the time.
Yeah.
How do you actually juggle it all?
Look, I think most weeks I have a I'm losing my mind moment. Like, it is a juggle. I've got a lot of help. I've got an amazing husband. I've got my mum living with me at the moment. We have a lady that helps out at home. I've got a great management team. But I'm kind of addicted to saying yes to good ideas. I'm a dopamine chaser. So when there's a new idea or a new opportunity, if I get excited about it, I say yes. And I get excited about a lot of things because
And
I've got
jump
a lot.
in.
And I jump in. And I've always been like this, but I have a knack of being able to pull it together and to be able to execute really quickly and efficiently and at a high standard. So I kind of go, yep, and I make it work, and I always make it work. But it's a lot of, quite a lot of stress and logistical nightmares along the way. Yeah.
Are you very good at conveying what you want to achieve and rallying the troops? Because you've got help, but how do you get them on your journey?
Yeah, I have to write for the help. So mum, we've got a lovely lady, Anne, at home. We've got babysitters who help with school pickups sometimes, even though I'd love to do that. But we're all on schedules, and I'm the one writing that. I'm the the CEO, the COO, everything. And look, it's a juggle, but I just seem to get it done. I work a lot, and this is probably a really bad habit, but I work a lot at night once the kids are in bed. Chris goes to bed early. I'm so efficient between 8:30 and 11:30, and that's such a bad habit. But my 3 hours where the doorbell's not ringing, no one's calling me, no one's asking me any questions, the dog's asleep as well, of silence, I get so much work done at that time.
So you're a night owl.
I'm a night owl, but I've also, people say, oh, that's so bad for your sleeping habits. But I've trained my brain so that I can do a ton of work at that time, and then at 11:30 go boom and go to sleep. Doesn't keep me up. So 11:30, and then I'll wake at probably 7:30 in the morning. So I'm getting 7.5, 8 hours sleep a night, but it's just a weird way in which I do it.
Yeah, but you've made it work for you, because clearly when you've got 4 kids at home, there's so much to be done. And then not to mention the sports. Like your kids are sports mad. So
my kids are sports mad, and I'm sports mad. So I play tennis twice a week. I play netball, I play golf, and I do Pilates. And I have to do that during the traditional work hours because I can't get up and do it early in the morning, and I don't like doing it at night because I'm doing the kids' sports run. So I have to do it within work hours. So between usually 10 and 1 p.m. most days I'm playing sport. But then that's why I do the 3 hours at night, because it makes up for the time that I get to play golf or do Pilates or play tennis.
See, what I like about with you is that, you also make your passions your paycheck. Like, and that's how I've always been in business. Like, I will only do things that, one, I enjoy, but two, they fill my cup.
Same.
But also I can actually leverage the fact that I'm doing it. Like even with golf now, you've got this 19th hole thing happening.
Yeah.
It's about mixing in the things that you love to do into business as well.
Golf's been so great. So I love it. And the reason I started playing golf is because my sons all started playing. So growing up, none of the kids that I went to school with ever played golf. It wasn't a thing. I don't know if it was like that when you grew up.
But are you patient enough for golf?
Yeah, it depends on my mood. But Oscar plays, and all of his friends play, and then my younger twins, Tom and Darcy, they all started playing. So I'd take them to the driving range, and instead of sitting there, I thought, I'll have a crack. And then I am this type A personality who has to be good at everything that I do. And I thought, if I'm going to do it, I've got to be good. So then I start getting lessons, and then Callaway were like, hey, can we sponsor you? It's not a lot of women, mums your age, who have influence and who are taking their kids to driving ranges and to play 9 holes. There's not a lot in this space. So Golf Australia came knocking. They're like, you're the mum we need to help to influence and grow the game among kids. So I do a lot of things that end up becoming a natural progression into a line of work. So now I'm doing a lot of work around golf, and I love it. So I was doing lessons yesterday.
And what about mixing fashion and golf now?
Yes. So then I go to Jagged. So we own Jagged. We co-founded Jagged, 12 years ago now. And I said to Steve, who's our CEO, got to do a golf range. Everyone's playing golf now. All the mums are playing golf. So we've got some golf gear coming out, and then it just snowballs.
And when will that drop?
September, October. They're more multi-sport pieces that can be used for tennis or for golf. We'll see how they go, and then if there's a big response, we might just do a golf capsule later down the track. But I'm excited to see how these go, and I'll be wearing them every time I go and play golf. But it's interesting because I get that dopamine hit when I get an idea. Oh, play golf. Oh, we'll get Jagger to do a range. Oh, the next campaign we'll shoot it here. We'll do this event. And then all of a sudden I've got a whole campaign. I've got the whole launch sorted.
You love connecting the dots.
Yeah.
And that's like, I've said this to a lot of people over the years. It's about being, like, I'm not artistic, but very creative. Can't draw
I'm
anything.
the same.
So you're very creative, but just maybe not artistic. And you use business to allow that creativity to come out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. And like I said, I'm a dopamine chaser. So when I get that feel like this is exciting, I go with it. But then I do bite off more than I can chew with, home and kids, because I say yes to everything.
Well, you said you're a type A and you've got to be good at everything.
Yeah, I do.
What are some of the things that you're not good at?
Well, I don't do anything I'm not good at. I cannot sing for shit. I'm the worst singer. I'm an awful dancer. I think I'm too long and gangly, and I'm just really bad at it. So those kind of, like acting, I can present really well. I'm a good presenter, but in terms of going into character and really tapping into being artistic, I can't do.
Yeah.
I cannot do.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
it's
there's a lot.
There is a difference between creative and artistic. So you're wired in this way, and your success has been amazing. Talk me through how you are the way that you are. Like, where did you grow up? How have you become this way inclined?
Yeah, I think I was honestly just born like this, but even
born and raised in WA?
Born and raised in WA to Kiwi parents. They moved over to WA in the late 70s for the resource boom of that time.
Whereabouts in New Zealand?
They're from Gisborne,
Guzzy,
which is East Coast, surfing town. And they moved to WA in the late 70s. They got jobs working on mineral sands mines up in Eneabba, which is near Geraldton. So we lived on the coast. So we grew up there. Mum and Dad separated when I was, I think, 4 or 5. So then we moved to Perth with my mum and just went to the local school, Yale Primary School. It was called Yale. How's that? Like, I went to Yale.
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, in the middle of Thornley, which
and just
I would
you and
say,
your sister?
Yep, my sister and I. So we lived with my mum and my stepdad, Mark, and we went to this local primary school, and it was just the best school time, childhood ever. So we'd be with mum during the school term, and then we'd go with dad during all the school holidays.
And was Dad still in WA or back in
Dad's in WA.
Yeah,
so Dad would live regionally. Dad's always worked in mining, so he worked on different mineral sands mines all around WA, from down south in Bunbury, Bustleton to up in Carnarvon. So he's been everywhere. So we had Dad on holidays, mum during the school term. And it was awesome. We just went to the local school around the corner, had the best childhood. And now looking back, I go, oh, wow. So we lived in this suburb, which was probably, looking back, a little bit rough. It was probably low socioeconomic. We used to get our house broken into all the time. You'd leave anything outside, bikes, toys, they'd get stolen. We used to get followed sometimes on the way home from school. And I look back and go, shit, that was pretty dodgy.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, it's like, this is the best. And I look back and I see stuff pop up about this suburb I grew up in, and it's pretty rough, and there's a lot of drug use and a lot of manufacturing and bikies and all sorts. But when you're a kid, you're oblivious to it.
Yeah, and you just got through unscathed.
Yeah, got through unscathed. And then, very happily unscathed.
And then your teens and early 20s, what was that?
Yeah, so mum was very adamant that she didn't want us going to the local high school. I think she knew some things that she didn't led on to my sister and I, but she said there's no way you're going there. But we didn't have enough money for private school education. So Mum sought out the best public schools in WA and worked out how Kate and I could get into those schools. And one of those schools was Kent Street Senior High School, and it's in Vic Park, but it's on the border of South Perth, Kensington. So it's really close to the city. They've got a lot of great scholarship programs there. They do an amazing cricket course. They do an aeronautics course where the kids who get in actually build aeroplanes. There's a hangar at school, and then they go and fly them at lunchtime. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So that was a really great public school that Mum thought, let's get my girls into here. And what she did was they moved out of Thornley and they had to buy in that catchment zone so we could go to that school. And they bought this old, it was would have been a 1920s, was those homes that were built for returning servicemen after, I think, World War One. It was a little heritage, tiny thing. And we went in there and lived in there. It was falling down, but we're in the zone. So we could go to the school. And then over time, as parents worked hard, saved money, did a beautiful renovation on it. That was how we got to get into that particular public school. Yeah. That's where I met all of my girlfriends. They're still my best girlfriends today. We all went to university. It was a great education. And we're teachers. I ended up with a speech pathology degree. People work in property and conveyancing and things like that. And they all ended up moving to Melbourne. So I moved to Melbourne with my then boyfriend at the time, Chris. And all my girlfriends were like, oh, yeah, cool, we'll come over as well. And then they all met Melbourne guys and they've all ended up buying here, having kids
and
here.
now you're having kids together?
Yeah. So all my high school girlfriends are in Melbourne. And we all met at Kent Street Senior High School. Yeah.
Insane. But your mum was the real driver to get you set up.
She didn't want us going to school in Thornley. And I look back and go,
is she the doer that is in you, that ability to execute?
She's a doer. She is a doer. And she just knew that she didn't want us. She had plans for us, and but no, not a lot of money. But it's how do I get the most potential out of my girls, with staying in that public school system, and literally moved house for us so we could have that. Sold in Thornley, bought, not a great house, but in a better area, to do that for us. So I look back and go, oh, thank God for Mum. How insightful and resourceful was that for her to be able to do that within her means. It was really cool. But all through school, I was that type A, straight A student, got 100% on every test, school captain, all that, squeaky clean.
So if you went back to Beck that finished high school, where did you think you were going to go?
I knew I was going to do a degree and do something hard and do something good. But I had signed with a modelling agency and I was going to take a couple of years off and go and work and model. And then, so your ATAR score is only valid for 3 years. So I knew that I had to get back so then I could use that to get into the degree that I wanted.
And what stopped you from heading overseas?
Well, I did. I moved overseas. So I finished high school and I moved to Asia. I did the Asian circuit. So I'd always got poached by Asian agencies.
Did they think that there was maybe some Asian in you because
because I'm Maori.
Maori
background? Yeah.
Maori.
So Aussies say Maori and Kiwis say Maori.
Like a Maori bread. That's when I moved there, they said, because I lived there for 6 years, they said, it's just like Maori bread. Just say Maori, not Maori.
Maori, yeah. But if you say Maori here, people be like, you've what? And I say, Maori. Oh, like native New Zealand. I'm like, yeah.
So was your dad half or full
Dad's
Maori?
Dad's Pakeha.
Oh, he's Pakeha.
Full Pakeha.
Oh, your mum's the Maori. Yeah,
mum's the Maori, yeah. So Dad's a ginger. So I love gingers. I always got a soft spot for hot red-headed men. So I don't know. I've just got a thing for gingers, and I think because it's in my genes. Yeah, right. I think redheads are so hot, and so Dad's side of the family, all redheads. Yeah, my half brother and half sister.
You've never thrown the wig on Chris?
No. So no.
But the Asians loved you because they
I looked a little bit Asian, and they love Eurasian, and I wasn't allowed to tell clients that I was Māori. I had to say, so my grandfather is Māori, but I had to say, if anyone asked, this is the agency directive, this is me as an 18 and 19-year-old, I had to fib and say that my grandfather was Chinese, and that's what they wrote on my bio.
And they loved it.
Yeah, and I got so much work there and absolutely killed it, and so they promoted me as Eurasian.
Incredible.
But I was more Polynesian.
Travelled Asia, did some amazing work, collaborated with incredible brands.
Yeah, did
And then-
awesome stuff. It was so good. Lived by myself and with
probably
all these
funded
models.
all your university studies as well.
It did, yeah. Got home, bought a car, did some other things. Wasted a shitload of money over there as well. Like,
What
live
was
like
the
a princess.
highlight in those 2 years?
Oh, like living in Bangkok in this beautiful, like 5-star apartment with staff as a 19-year-old.
Insane.
But I wasted so much money doing that. But
From
it was
Yale.
Like, I was made from Yale. Rebecca Twigley from Yale Primary School in Thornley, and oh god. So
And
so
then
I
you've
think-
landed back in Perth.
landed back in Perth.
And then
met,
you've
met
met
Chris.
Chris.
Met Chris at the pub.
And at the time, were they flying?
No.
No.
He'd just been drafted. He was 19. I was 19. Yeah, met at the pub on a Sunday session. Iconic Cottesloe Beach Hotel. You know, the cot.
So many funny similarities, like with New Zealand,
Yeah.
and when you met Chris, when I met Charlotte, I
that
met her at the ESPY, which
Yeah,
is iconic.
it's the
You met-
same.
It's
The
bizarre.
cot, yeah, because we're that same generation.
Love the
Right? I'm a
cot.
couple of years older than you, but
Yeah.
it's
Well,
that,
I never had online
that's-
dating, so
Yeah, we had to do it the old,
Had to go up and-
the normal way. So met him, and then I was due to go back to Hong Kong on a contract, and I think I went for like 2 weeks to Hong Kong, and then I said to my agency, I need to go home. I'm homesick, or I'm sick or something, and they let me go. But it was
You just missed Chris.
because I missed him. It was like first true love. Like, I was so in love with him. Came home, and then that was it. Never modelled overseas again, and went to uni, did a film and TV, started a film and television degree, hated it. So I did a year of that, went, nah, that's shit. I can't do that. And then transferred to speech pathology and did a science degree over 4 years. Started it at Curtin University in Perth, finished it at La Trobe here, because I had to transfer because Chris ended up moving to Carlton when I still had a year to go on my
Okay.
degree.
So how many years were there in Perth with the Eagles? 2 or 3?
When was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So it was good. Amazing times.
And then
Amazing times.
When that transfer came up to come
Yeah.
to Melbourne,
Yeah.
were your friends already here from that initial group of girls?
They were,
were you the
in
first
a
to
bit. I
leave?
was the first. So if Chris hadn't have moved to Carlton, our lives would have been so different. So what had happened was a lot of my girlfriends were in Perth and were either coming out of relationships or were doing the London thing. So in the 90s and the early 2000s, you either kind of went to Melbourne or London, but then the pound wasn't as good as it had
It was
been.
like 3-1.
Yeah, but it was changing. And so a couple of friends went to London, and then the rest were kind of coming out of bad breakups or had just finished degrees and wanted to do something different. So I'm like, well, I'm moving to Melbourne with Chris. You guys want to come? So they all came. And then the ones who had been in London and were coming home, they
Wouldn't go back to Perth. They'd
no,
stop here.
they wanted to come to Melbourne too because we were all in Melbourne. So they all ended up in Melbourne. So I've got like 7 friends.
And where was the base? So he's playing for Carlton.
Paran.
In Paran.
Yeah. So we had
Which street?
What was it? Hinton Lane. So it was
Oh,
just
yeah.
behind
Like
Greville.
a warehouse.
Yeah, it was a warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And someone came over once and went, oh my God, I used to throw raves here.
Hey, so was this your first Melbourne flip?
Yes,
Or it
it
was.
was.
It
yeah.
was.
So Chris had a house in WA in Jundanna.
Yeah.
And
That
so
you guys hadn't renovated.
I moved into that with him. And we were just young, like literally 19, 20, 21. And he's gone from high school. So you finish year 12 and then the draft was, I don't know, a week later or something like that. And he always thought he was going to get drafted to Hawthorn or St Kilda because they had the first 2 picks. But because he'd had a couple of shoulder reconstructions that year, they both said to him just before, so we're not going to take you because your shoulders are a bit dodgy. We're not that confident.
And at a young age.
At a young age. And then West Coast had pick 3 and they couldn't believe it when he was still available. They went, well, we don't care about your shoulders. You're the best player in the draft. You're coming to Perth. So to go through year 12 and think that you went to Caulfield Grammar and think that you're going to go to either Hawthorn or St Kilda the whole year, you had his girlfriend here, like happy days, and then for your whole world to be just shaken
So
upside
he had a
down.
girlfriend in Melbourne and
Yeah.
then got sent to WA.
Yeah, and he only
And
knew
then
like
sees you
about
at
a
the
week
pub.
before. West Coast are like, we're going to take you. And he's like, hang on, what? So then he gets drafted and then he leaves. So he's literally gone from home, living at home with mum and dad, to a couple of weeks later, he's living in Perth. Like, what?
Okay, and how long was he in Perth
Before I
that
met him.
interaction at
Well, I was
Cottesloe?
living overseas, so I missed his first year or 2, maybe a couple of years, and then I met him. He'd broken up with his girlfriend by then.
Yeah.
And So I met him, and then he lived in this place, Jundana, which was at the time there's a lot of halfway houses in Jundana. So people who just left prison ended up in Jundana.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of break-ins. A lot of people knew it was his house. He had a stalker. When he was away on weekends playing away games, people would come and like camp under his house, piss in wine bottles, leave them there. So everyone knew it was Chris Judd's house. So it was just weird. I feel like...
So then you moved to Melbourne, ended up behind Revolver.
Yeah, boutique. Yeah, it was wild. So then moved to Paran. And it's interesting, we were talking before off camera about when you live in a house and you don't do anything to it, and then when you get it ready to sell and you renovate it, you go, shit, this is actually amazing. I don't want to sell it anymore. And you have seller's remorse. That's what happened at Paran. Yeah, this is what happened at Paran. So we lived in a 4-story townhouse, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, had Oscar, my first son, there. It was between Greville Street and Commercial Road, overlooking that park where that Woolworths is.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one back.
And a great era as well for this whole precinct.
This precinct, it was Greville Street, pumping. You had Fog there, you had boutique, you had the Paran Market. It was insane. We were, I think,
I had my 21st boutique. It was going off.
Did you?
Yeah, it was
so
great.
good. I think we were 24 or 25 when we moved over to Carlton, and for him to play at Carlton, we bought in Paran. And to live where we did in that fun townhouse before we had kids for a few years was just like the best welcome to Melbourne experience you could ever get. Paran will always have my heart. I love it.
We're talking about this because we've done 15 odd flips now. How many times have you moved in Melbourne?
Probably only 3 times, but we've flipped more than that. Yeah.
And we still go back to the best era was that mid-20s.
Yeah.
When we had the property on the cusp of South Yarra, Paran.
It's the best.
And there was...
Near the Argo.
Oh,
were you there?
So good.
Oh, the best
so
times.
Good.
That area was just absolutely killing it then. I think Greville Street's made a comeback now. Chapel, not so much, but Greville's had a bit of a resurgence. You've got Nadia's Henny in there. You've got cool wine bars. It's council have spent a bit of money on it. It's really cool.
Chapel's picked up the rub-off effect of St Kilda really going down the gurgler and then they're filtering.
See, I love St Kilda. I just feel like are we being idiots by not investing in St Kilda, because it is so close to the city. You're on the coast. There's beautiful buildings, but no one will touch it. It just makes sense. Like when you look at it, you go,
it's the Bondi of Melbourne.
Yeah, why isn't... Like, surely this has got to have a resurgence, and we'll all be there going in 5 years. God, we should have bought in St Kilda when no one wanted to live there, when no one wanted to touch it.
That's now.
Yeah, they're at rock bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Such
Absolutely.
a shame. I love St Kilda.
I started my career there, and it was thriving. It was pumping. You had the SB, you had the Vineyard, you had Veludo, Big Mouth.
So good, Rabada,
all these
Victoria
iconic
Street,
venues.
pumping, Prince of Wales. Like, it's epic.
Cushion Lounge, like everything.
Yeah, and it's all still there. It's just dead.
I know.
Yeah.
Government and how they do things, but that's a totally different topic.
That's a whole different podcast.
3 hours for that one, so we won't get into
but
that.
I think St Kilda, it seems like a no-brainer. But when does it start to go back up again anyway?
Who knows?
Yeah.
I lost my crystal ball, so I can't tell you.
Yeah.
So then you're in Melbourne. You start having children. What does life look like? Because, you're, like you said, type A. So you just, and the big thing for us at White Fox, and we're 60% female, 40% male, a lot of our staff have said, how does Beck not get the guilt, or how does she do it all, and how does she stay present throughout the journey?
I'm not present, and I'm guilty all the time. That's just being honest. Yeah, when I'm not with my kids, I'm always guilty that I'm not with my kids. And when you've got 4 kids and a husband, you've got your pie, and it's split 5 ways, right? So you've got 20% of your attention for each kid and your husband. Give them that time. They get 20% of your attention. That means there's an 80% rejection rate. When you look at it like that, those cold hard facts, you're just guilty all the time.
So on that pie,
that doesn't include work either.
So that 20% though, how much do you get one-on-one, or is it always in pairs or groups?
Always. And it's so hard because you'll be with one. Mom, can I show you what I did at school today? I'm like, yeah. And then this one's like, Mom, this is broken. Mom, where are you? And then I've got Oscar, hey, Mom, can you take me to golf? I've just organised a golf. And then Billy's like, Mom, what about my, sleepover? It's like this constant. So you're kind of going from one fire to the other fire to going, that's really great. I love what you did. Well done. I'm so proud of you. But it's not, you're not giving them the actually sit down, show me what you've written. Why did you do that? I feel like I don't get that really intense presence with them because there's just so much going on.
Because I've realised that very rarely is it ever just one-on-one.
Yeah.
And, you know, coming from having one sister and me growing up with one brother, there was a lot of one-on-one time.
Yeah.
But the moment it gets to that third child,
forget about it.
It's out the
Yeah.
window.
Yeah.
So how do you, but they don't know any better either.
Yeah,
So that's
right.
where, you know, we spoke about it before with travel. You know, you get back and you've got the guilt.
Yeah, 100%.
That you haven't seen them, but
I've got guilt all the time.
they're happy to be with Nana.
Yeah, they like it, right?
Now, we're lucky that we've got these mums
we
who happen
are.
to be Pilates buddies.
Yes, our mums are like
They're nuts.
Pilates BFFs. It's so funny. But just on that, what I've done is I give all of my kids a mum and Billy day, a mum and Oscar day, where I actually pull them out of school for a day a term and we just get to do whatever they want to do.
I love
whether
that.
it's play golf or whether it's go. Billy just always wants to go to Chadstone and go shopping. I took her for a mum and Billy day a couple of weeks back. We went Friday night, we went and stayed at Hotel Chadstone. We went and had dinner together. We did a shopping spree. We had breakfast in bed, like we did the room service breakfast in bed, then straight in the car, got home, cup filled, we reconnected, and then the twins were like, when do we get our mum and Tom day? When do we get our mum and Darcy day? So that's how I get that one-on-one time, is I engineer it. But it's like once a term for all of them. And
But
I
see,
just
that
say to
is
the
such
school,
a
I'm
good-
just having a mental health day. Mental health for me.
Yeah.
And that's, they're just little hacks.
Parent guilt day.
Yeah.
But that's such a good idea because essentially that will sit with them for months.
Yeah.
They will never forget those one-on-one days.
Yeah.
And
You know, there's that that research that says if you can just give your child 20 minutes of undivided attention a day, that's how you have a really strong relationship with them. It's only 20 minutes a day. But when you've got 4 kids and it's kind of like, well, in the morning, I can't, like 20 minutes in isolation. That's actually hard to do. If you had one kid, a lot easier. But when there's a lot,
no,
and
because
you
if
work
you've got 4, where do you get that? Where do you get that?
80
time?
minutes, yeah.
So that's amazing for the kids. What about for yourself and Chris? How do you structure that?
So every kind of September, we'll go away and have a holiday, just us together. And it's probably only away 4 or 5 nights, and that's it because we miss the kids too much. Even though then when we get home, they don't even notice when we walk in the door. They don't run to us like, Mummy, Daddy, you're back. They'll be on the couch. They'll be like, And I say to Chris, why do we miss them so much? They don't even care that we're back. But I think it's just because they always have each other and there's always so much going on. But no, they do miss us. They've just got a funny way of showing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're kids.
Yeah, they are. So we just go away, just us two, and it is so nice. And we do it every year, and it's just nice to reconnect.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what about the family holiday? Is that every 2 years or 1 year?
Family holidays, we're lucky we kind of, every summer we'll do just before Christmas, we go to Byron Bay. And it's at the end of the school year, and it's a little reconnect before the madness of Christmas. So we just go up for a few nights. We've done it every year for the last probably 7 years. So we'll do that again this year. And we alternate different holidays, either locally or overseas. This year we've got a house in Blairgowrie for a couple of weeks because we sold our Arthur's Seat house. So now we've booked a house for 2 weeks. There's a lot of kids and a lot of friends down there. Oscar plays rep cricket all through January, all around Victoria. So we've kind of got to be here. And I love cricket. I'm a cricket mum, so that's fine. So this year, yeah, we're local.
Who's the sports person in the family? Who's making it, do you think?
Oscar loves cricket. He's a good little cricketer. I don't know if he'll like make it, but he's on some
talented.
amazing pathways. He's got in the under-12 Victorian team as a batsman. He trains every single day, like he's obsessed. So he's giving it his absolute all. I don't know if he'll make it, but he's leaving, what's that cliche? No stone unturned. He's doing it all. And it's so good seeing this kid be so dedicated. I'm like, don't you want a day off training? He goes, nah, I want to go. I want to get better. I want to be always, just soaking it all up. I'm like, that's amazing.
And he's also watching his folks going hard.
Yeah,
you're
and
setting these examples.
And it's always, that Cristiano Ronaldo spoken about it. Lots of different elite sports people have spoken about. talent, you can be born with talent, but it's about how hard you work, how much you want it. And
hustle beats talent.
And hustle. Yeah, exactly. So Oscar's always reminded of that, and he's got natural talent, but and this is a learning from his dad as well, is work harder than everybody else. And if everyone's doing the same thing, you don't do what everyone else is doing. No. How do you do the next thing and the next thing? And also don't just work on your weaknesses, because your strength is what sets you apart. So while you're developing your weaknesses, don't let everyone else catch up to your strengths that might be their weaknesses. Work on your strength as well.
I've said to everyone here,
yeah,
outsource your weaknesses. If you're not good on a phone and you're good in front of people, then outsource that prospecting to somebody else so that you can just be in front of people all day long.
Yeah.
It's pointless. I'm the same.
Yeah.
Why would I want to focus on the things that I'm not naturally gifted at when I can just double down on the stuff that you're really good at? Inbuilt in me.
Yeah. So it's like, so in sport, okay, I'm really fumbly when I play football, so my touch is off and my goal kicking. So, you practice that, but maybe you're really good at running power. So you go on your running power even more, because that's what you're already good at. Get streets ahead by focusing on that as well. So I feel like, yes, focus on your weaknesses, but don't give up on your strengths as well, because it's what makes you special.
Couldn't agree more. Now take me back to Arthur's Seat and the flips. Like you are in your happy place from all accounts when you're mid-reno.
I think when you...
And do you prefer a reno or a new build?
A reno. I love
Always.
a reno. Oh, yeah. I hate councils and permits and planning, and renos are easier. And so we bought Arthur's Seat when I was pregnant with the twins, thinking we needed all this land. And so we had a smaller house in Brighton, which was going to be too small for 4 kids. So I was like, well, let's buy big land on the Mornington Peninsula and we'll have that. So we bought it. Then the twins arrived, and then life got hectic with 4 kids, and I didn't have time. And sport.
That's the killer with the peninsula.
Yeah. And then, so we just rented it out. We didn't renovate it. It was like the cheapest rental on the Mornington Peninsula, cheapest Airbnb on the Mornington Peninsula. So, and we just let it sit there for like 6 years. And then we were just getting so many bills for it, constant, that we had water tanks, and there was no gas to the property. We had to put in a Starlink. There were septics that were always degrading. Like, it was just bills. It was a big country property.
It's just like a classic
car. It was a money
car.
pit.
And we were literally a couple of K away from each other.
Yeah.
I had the same thing.
Yeah.
We pretty much sold in the same market.
Yeah.
It's as soon as the kids are there.
Yeah.
And the upkeep.
Yeah, the
and
upkeep
then again,
was just
thank you to the government,
ridiculous.
all the different taxes
and
that
then
come into it.
all the land tax kept coming. And we were working out, all we were doing was paying bills and not being able to enjoy it. And I was like, enough, let's actually renovate it and enjoy it. If we're paying all this money.
And the Melbourne builder?
Dale, Melbourne builder, amazing. So I work with the Melbourne builder pretty much exclusively. I shouldn't say that actually, Dale. There's still competition, Dale. No, I love Dale.
He's a good man, Dale.
He's the best.
Well, he got ours ready for market as well.
Yeah, he's insane.
So easy
He's
to
the
deal
only
with.
builder I've ever dealt with who delivers like on budget and ahead of time. He always delivers for me ahead of time. He's insane.
But he's a communicator.
That's why.
That's all I want.
That's why. And do you know what else he does, which no other, when we've been quoting out, when other builders have quoted for jobs, he's the only one who itemises every cost.
Correct.
And
line
so
by line.
instead of someone going, joinery package, 200K, he will say joinery, and then every single element of the joinery, from the painting of it to the handles to the bloody screws, the labour, the MDF board, whatever, every single item is accounted for and costed. So you know exactly what you're paying for.
Yeah.
And that was how we actually won our first job, which was a Brighton build. I sent it out to 3 builders, and he wasn't the cheapest. I don't think he was the most expensive either. He came in maybe just under the most expensive. But he was the only one who itemised everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, you got the job purely for that.
Yeah, crazy.
So if you're a builder and you're listening, or not even a builder, if you're running a business and you are competing for contracts and you're tendering, in that process, itemise your costs, because then it's easier for people to know where they stand with you.
But you can be more expensive, but as long as it's itemised,
Yeah.
you feel comfortable and you're
100%,
like, fantastic.
100%.
And I remember with me looking at the itemised list, he said, you can take a few things off as well.
yeah.
If you want to cut a couple corners,
Yeah.
you can. But at least you know where it sits.
Yeah. So he delivered he was amazing with Arthur's Seat. He's incredible with all the projects I've built with him, and all my friends use him now as well. But with Arthur's Seat, they did that build. I think it was about 10 weeks he delivered that. And he did one for me at Mount Buller as well, and that was a 10-week build.
I love that place.
I love that.
So, hey, did you sell that?
Yeah, it was insane. It was 10-week flip, and it was insane. That was a JV with Max. Who's the big Mount Buller builder? He's going to kill me for not remembering his name. It's just Max.
Max and Mount Buller.
Mount Buller. Max. He worked with Dale on that one, and those boys got it done in 10 weeks. It was insane.
And you've always made money through your renovations. What do you think is the biggest thing that you focus on that buyers love when renovating?
I think great design.
But you're doing the design.
I do the design. Yep, great design. So I've got my finger on the pulse. I don't do anything that's too
is it in the layouts? Is it in the marble selections? Because you love your marble.
I always do. Yeah. Do you know what I think?
You never do a man-made stone like us.
No.
So it's always marble.
No,
always.
Always, because I've found that there's so much stone that is cheaper than man-made. So to be able to market that as stone bench tops, you don't have to have the Calcutta Viola, which costs a fortune. You can do the Tundra,
Correct.
which is cheaper than a man-made stone, but you market it as stone bench tops instead of...
But what about when people say, but, the man-made, is easier to keep clean and it doesn't stain? And I just go, well, hold on a second. You go to any luxury hotel throughout Europe that have got 100-odd rooms, and they're charging you $20,000 a night. All the stone has come from a quarry. So they don't care.
Go look at the Colosseum. It's
exactly
made of stone and it's still standing.
But that is the personality of the stone. It might get a bloody red wine splash. It might get a bit of lemon juice here. Who cares?
Doesn't matter.
That's it.
And you can fix that.
Exactly.
And also what I've learned is different stones mark to a lesser extent. So we've got a super white on our kitchen benches. We put lemon juice on, we put lime juice on, we cook on it and make on it, and there's no stains on it because it's actually, even though it's called super white marble, it's actually a dolomite. Dolomite isn't as porous, it's harder. There are stones out there, do your research, that don't mark as much as others. I've had
if you use a quartz, you can't, it's just too hard.
Yeah, so our Arthur's Seat, we had the most amazing stone slabs, Patagonia quartz from Brazil. We made margaritas on there, didn't even clean it up. No marks. Whereas this, Calcutta Viola,
porous.
Terrible, but looks gorgeous. And yeah, there's a lot of stone that is so much cheaper than a man-made. So do your research. People just think stone, expensive. You can go to like a Signorino and you go to their slabs and there's the $4,000 slab and there's a $600 slab. So you usually find something in your budget. So with me, it's always...
What's the feedback from buyers? Like when the agent's calling you, giving you feedback, what are they loving?
Love
because
the design.
There's an aesthetic to your houses.
Love the design. I always think I love to layer texture. So stone, timber. It's all about the handles. It's about adding marble in clever ways. It's about having
like
that
inserts.
Overall luxury feel. And I also always work with my partners to make it fully furnished. So you get the whole... Turnkey. Everything I do is turnkey. And it's great because it's a way that I can leverage my clients.
Is that the all-in price though, or is there a separate...
It's an all-in price.
So in terms of the Beck Judd of today, the podcast, Vain-ish.
Vain-ish.
And it would have been for years people just throwing these ideas to get this podcast off the ground.
Yeah.
The promo was one of the best launches.
Thank you.
Talk me through how the podcast came about, the artistic direction of it and how it's been.
Yeah, it's been awesome. So my best girlfriend, Jessie Roberts, and I created this podcast, Vain-ish, and it's really
another Perth girl, or
no, she's a school mum. So Jess and I met when our eldest kids, she's got River, I've got Oscar. They met in 3-year-old kinder, at Haileybury, and Jess was so unhinged. She comes in, she's got a baby on her hip, she's wearing a Qantas pajamas to school to sign in the kids, and it's so funny because this is like this fancy private school in Bayside, and she's there. She's legally parked out the front. She's got these top-knot pajamas on, Ugg boots, walks in, baby on her hip. I'm like, man, this chick is so unhinged and I love her. Anyway, we just bonded, and she got a similar upbringing to me actually. And I was working in radio. I hosted the 3 p.m. pickup on KISS, the national show, for a long time. And I left that.
Did you enjoy radio?
I liked doing radio, but at the time I didn't like the scrutiny and attention that talking about my private life generated in clickbait media. And I had a paparazzo parked outside my house almost every day for like 2 years. And it just became just suffocating.
Yeah.
And constantly reading clickbait about you, that Monty, Yumi and I would joke about something on air, and then it would get misinterpreted and used as a clickbait headline to make me look like a really shitty person.
But do you find with radio a lot of the time, because you become such friends with your co-hosts, you sometimes forget that you're on air and you're talking so freely. You're having these normal conversations that people are listening to.
And they get misinterpreted. And when they're transcribed literally, they actually don't read very well.
Yeah,
because they don't get the tone and the joke that you were talking in.
Well, it's like when someone gets upset with a text message and you're like, dude, I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, I meant it like if I said, so do you know what? I'll always send an audio message, so then you can put your sarcasm or your joke into it. Anyway, so I didn't.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I didn't love just the constant scrutiny with radio. So I resigned from that job mid-multi-year contract, which no one does that. Radio's a great job. And I went, nah, it's all too much. And I didn't have the skills or the mindset to deal with that then, but I do now. So it was only 4 or 5 years ago, but I've changed a lot now.
Your growth in 4 years with how to deal with
that,
trolling and
just clickbait, fake news.
Yeah.
I'm just like zero fucks.
So how have you built that sort of zero fucks mentality in 4 years?
Talking to my friends. Yeah. So Nadia Bartel's a big one.
Yes.
And
she's put some amazing messages out as well.
Amazing. So, you know that whole Mel Robbins, let them? So Nadia will say something and I'm like, wow, I can't believe you said that. She goes, let them. She goes, the people who know me, that's the opinion I care about. If someone wants to think such and such about me in a negative way, who cares? I don't know. They're like, let them. And she said, as soon as you embrace that let them theory, you become so much lighter. And
that set you free mentally.
Yep, just zero fucks. But I was kind of getting there anyway, and I really am genuinely there now. So I left radio, didn't like the scrutiny, didn't like the pressure, didn't like the paps on my tail, left, got told, hey, if you ever want to come back and do a podcast, let us know. It was approached by lots of different kind of networks and podcast production companies to do something, but there was never anything that felt really right. So I always, if I'm going to do something, I get this feeling when I know it's going to be amazing. And I wasn't getting that feeling. I was just listening to my gut going, nah, it's not right. Anyway, Jess and I were talking one day about taking the girlfriend chats.
And did you think it would be a co-hosted podcast as well?
Yeah, I didn't want to do it by myself.
Yeah.
And Jess is so funny and so unhinged and so creative. And we're opposite, so we go well together. So I kind of drive everything, and then she gives the unhinged one-liners and the different perspectives, because she's extremely neurodiverse and looks at things through a different lens. So she really adds her creative input in a really cool way. So anyway, we were at the pantry one day, and I'd done another beauty podcast for a client, and I went, oh, it's a bit boring. It was like, this is what I do for my skin and this is what makeup I use. And I was falling asleep doing the bloody podcast.
And was it also too scientific?
Yeah, it was just a bit meh. And then someone said, oh, that's one of the number one beauty podcasts. And I thought, God, if that's doing well, imagine what we could do in that space if we just disrupted it a bit. So anyway, we came up with the idea of Vainish, and it's almost like a piss take or a parody on beauty and wellness treatments. It's educational. We are still trialling treatments. We're trialling products. We're getting celebrities on to do tell-alls about what they actually do to look good, to feel good, but we're doing it in a really funny way. And it's kind of like we're bringing that beauty and sexiness to a podcast, but we're also taking the piss out of ourselves at the same time, because it's not all serious.
And you're also trialling all these different things.
Yeah, we're doing
all
these things. So I did the salmon sperm injections. Jess steamed her fanny. Like, we've got
ended up talking about it on the Today Show.
The Today Show. Carl Stefanovic, I've never heard him so quiet. He didn't know what to say. So we are doing these things, but then we'll get a women's health doctor to come on and tell us, you know, what the risks are. Or Jess was trialling the tanning nasal spray, so she was snorting this spray to get brown. Then we got a dermatologist on to debunk tanning sprays and telling our audience. We're like de-influencing people a lot of the time, why you shouldn't do these global beauty and wellness trends that are getting fed to you on TikTok and Instagram that are BS and can actually be really damaging to your health. So, but I think
But people are also seeing like this amazing side of you that they wouldn't have seen before, where because it is your show, it is your time, you're with your bestie.
Yeah.
And you've had that maturity over that last 4 years of just not giving a fuck.
Yeah, so I'm just speak more freely. It's liberating.
So much, liberating.
Yeah, yeah. And if someone doesn't like it, I don't care. Don't listen. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. I don't care. Yeah.
And then now you can teach your kids, hopefully, that they can get to that mentality.
Yeah.
Not, in their late 30s or early 40s, but how do you get to that type of mentality in your early to mid 20s?
Yes.
Like as early as possible.
Yes.
Because that will fundamentally change your life.
100%. And I have these conversations with my kids. We have the best car chats and we speak about this. But it's hard, like someone telling you and then actually having the lived experience where you do get criticised and dealing with that. And it also takes a very mature frontal lobe, and we know that frontal lobes aren't fully developed until your mid to late 20s. So even though someone will say, oh, if someone criticises you, let them. It means nothing to you. If you've got an underdeveloped frontal lobe, then even if someone's saying that, sometimes it's still really hard to process.
But then if the frontal lobe isn't being developed till that stage, then isn't it crazy that kids are able to make decisions about themselves before they're 10, 11, 12?
Yeah, it is. And I find when I really had that aha moment, I'm an adult now, wasn't till I was about 27. I had this realisation at about 26, 27 that, oh my God, for the last 7 years, I've walked around thinking I'm an adult and thinking I know it all. And that's when you have that realisation that you actually know nothing. It's actually embarrassing and you go, fuck. And I see a lot of young 20-somethings now. They've finished uni or they're at uni, they've got jobs, they've got cars, they're living by themselves and they think they know it all. And I have been there. I've had my degree, I've worked at a big hospital, thought, I was a bit of a know-it-all. But you don't know you're a know-it-all until you hit about 27, your frontal lobe's developed and you go, shit, I know nothing. Yeah.
It's funny. I saw this, I can't remember where it was, but it was somebody commenting about their favourite years. And it was like, the 40s are the best because you act like you're in your 20s, but you've got money and you've got life experience.
The 40s is so good because, it's right. Like we
because the 30s
enough.
You're grinding.
You're
building.
grinding. Your 40s, you are reaping the rewards and then you've got the money to be able to spend on all the fun stuff. You do the holidays. We go to Coachella every year. You've got the money to be able to spend on your appearance and it's why a lot of 40-year-olds look like they're in their 20s, sometimes look younger than 20-year-olds because you've got the money to be able to do all the things. It's actually really interesting and not something, growing up you kind of think 40s, so old. But now that you're in your 40s, you kind of feel younger than ever. But I think it's so important to look after the inside as well because you can put all this effort into the outside, but if you feel like shit, you're fatigued, your body's breaking down, then it's not a good place to be.
And on that, you're giving, your family all these 20% slithers. You're the busiest you've ever been. You're the smartest you've ever been. And you're probably in the best position you've ever been. What do you do to stay on top of being the best version of yourself?
I have recently started doing a lot of testing, so full blood work, stomach work where you've probably done this, like the testing where the methane and the SIBO testing and you do all that, stool testing, like everything, where I'm in a spot now going, life's good, my kids are at a great age.
Have you found out something about yourself that you never knew?
Yes.
And what was that?
Are you talking in terms of...
from the testing?
From the testing, yeah. I've found out, I've always been very anemic my entire life. Even when I was a kid, I was always tired. So we'd go out, we'd be at friends' houses as kids, and my sister would be so vivacious and be able to stay up all night and play with the other kids. At about 9 o'clock at night, I'd have to go and sleep on the couch. I was the first kid who would always go to sleep. Constantly tired. And I've done every test for my iron. I've always had low iron. And I eat red meat 3 times a week. I make sure I have it with vitamin C. I do all the right things. I supplement with iron. I don't have it near caffeine. I've had iron infusions to try and boost my ferritin. and I'm still, it'll last a couple of months and then I just get so depleted again, do another blood test, irons drops. Like I've had colonoscopies, I've had everything to try and explore
But do
what it
we
is.
want to see Beck Judd with more energy?
I think I just have caffeine and I just push through, but I'm constantly exhausted. Anyway, I did all this testing and there's a few things going on with my gut with different like parasites and different bacterial overgrowth that my health team think I've maybe had since I was a kid. And
this parasite's been there.
Yeah, it's either, so there's a couple of things going on. So there was parasite.
I've got some ivermectin in my office, by the way.
There's this other bacterial overgrowths that also could have been there since I was a kid. And they think what's happened is that I've had malabsorption of iron my entire life because I've lived with these things in my gut since I was a kid. So I'm just not, I'm eating all the iron, I'm having all the, but I'm just leaking it.
Have they been able to rectify it?
So I'm on an 8-week, I'm in about the 8th week of a program now. I feel great and I'm going to go and do the repeat blood test. So we've got the baseline now of everything.
How good's that?
So, but it's taken me this long and I only did it. She's such a guru for me, both in mindset and health, was Nadia Bartel told me to go to this person. So I went, whatever Nadia does, I do. She influences me so much. So I've gone and done that. We're actually getting her, this lady who's looking after me, she's coming, she's flying down, she's going to be on the Vanish podcast very soon to talk about what she does. But I really had to, I've been to every kind of doctor,
but think about the
GP,
decades that you've gone through without knowing.
And we've tried everything and nothing's worked. And I've finally found this person.
And
so I've
where
got
are
her
they
coming
from?
on the
Sydney?
podcast. She's actually from the Gold Coast.
Okay.
Yeah. So her name's Megan Haralampu and she's going to come down and get her on Vanish. But yeah, Vanish, back to Vanish. It's been so good. We had 100,000 downloads in the first 3 weeks and people are just loving the transparency and us just being fun and funny. And the feedback is it's not the guests or the topic you're covering, it's the banter of you and Jess at the top that they're getting addicted to the friendship.
And what's so special about that is that's all organic.
Yeah.
That's the part that makes it so unique.
Yeah. So it's been really fun and this is just the beginning for Vanish. So where there's other places we want to take it, we'd love to make Vanish TV where we actually go and do all the treatments all around the world, different cultures and traditions and do that kind of like a cross between, I don't know, like a luxury escapes versus Goop versus Hamish and Andy's Gap Year.
Yeah,
you know,
no. There is a show in that for sure.
100%. So
because particularly, like, go to South Korea and do some wacky shit.
Well, that's the thing. We've already got, that's already in the production schedule. Like
Love
the whole snail, the body, that they do a snail facial where there's these snails that are like 10 centimetres big and they put 50 of them on your body and they leave their snail trail all over your body. Then you rub it in and you get like all moisturised. They've got the salmon, sperm, everything over there.
But they're at the forefront, aren't they?
They are at the forefront. And Japan as well. They do this nightingale bird poo, which they get from nightingale nests. They get the bird poo and they make it in a facial and pop it on you. So there's so much cool stuff to do. And we are...
But how funny. So you don't... What was the show that you did with your sister?
The Amazing Race.
Okay, so The Amazing Race...
It's a bit like The Amazing Race too.
Yeah, so sent home because you wouldn't eat a bug, but you're willing to put the bird shit all over your face.
100%. We won't touch a spider. I will not touch a spider. I got sent home because I wouldn't cook a spider and eat a spider. I'm talking bird-eating spiders, tarantulas. But nothing else really bothers me. Snakes, other bugs, snails, fine. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Well, Beck, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been so nice to see you and can't wait to see you continue to dominate and have fun.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.